What's going on, guys? Shane here. So, as some of you may or may not know, I grew up as a console exclusive gamer. I grew up playing on everything from the Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Wii, PS3, on and on and on, all consoles. This is where I played all my games, including all my shooters, and I feel like I was halfway decent at console shooters for the most part. So a couple of years ago, I switched over to PC gaming, and that's where things got a little bit interesting. So it turns out that if you spend about 600 hours playing something like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds on PC, and then you try to go back to a console shooter that you haven't actually touched in like a year and a half, you might not be as good at it as you were when you left. So that's the experience that I had. Suddenly, when I went back to join my console shooter friends, I sucked. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't hit a shot to save my damn life. So that got me looking for a way to be able to use mouse and keyboard on console. And it wasn't so much that I wanted something that would give me a competitive edge over the controller people. It was something more along the lines of just wanting to be able to compete. So I did some Googling and I found something called Xim Apex. Now I saw some other options, but Xim Apex seems to have the best reviews, the best results, so I bought it. So for those who don't know, Xim Apex comes in a pretty simple package. Basically, what you get in the box is a USB dongle that you plug into the front of your console, in my case, a PlayStation 4. Now, in the front of that dongle, there is another USB port, and in that, you plug in this little USB hub that gives you 3 more USB ports. Now, on that one, you've got 3 very specific ports. One of them is for your mouse, one of them is for your keyboard, and one of them is to plug your controller in. Now, you have to plug them into the right ports. The instructions will tell you which one is which. It's not too big of a deal. Just make sure you do it correctly or it's not going to work. Basically, what Xim Apex does is it sits in between your controller that's plugged into that little hub and your console, and it tricks the console into thinking that the key press is coming from your keyboard and the movements from your mouse are actually coming from that controller. Now from there, the coolest part to me is that you can control all this and adjust all your settings through an app that you can use on your smartphone, and it happens instantly. Let's say you're playing a game and you need that look speed to be a little bit higher. You can go over to your smartphone, tweak that, hit save, and boom, instantly you see that in the game. Let's say you need to remap a keybind. Maybe there's something that you need to change what key does what. Same thing. Pull up the app, change it, boom, you're done. So personally, for me so far, this has definitely improved my ability to play these shooters on the console. The cool thing is, I'm not just dominating everyone, although I'm sure there are some players that could use this to an unfair advantage. I am not one of those people. With Xim Apex on something like Apex Legends, I would say that I'm averaging 3-4 kills per game and maybe 700-800 damage is a pretty normal game for me. So I don't think that's super unfair. It's not as if I'm going out and getting 15 kills every game and I'm winning every match. It also took a lot of tweaking of the configurations to try and get it just right. And unfortunately, those configs are going to change game to game to some degree. So I've got my mouse set up to be running at 3200 DPI and I have the polling rate set at 500. Then I've got to go into the actual app and change the actual sensitivity there as well. Not just from hip, but also from ADS. So there's a lot of configuration. There's a lot of time involved in just tweaking things until it feels correct. And you have to watch out for pitfalls that games like Apex Legends have, where if you turn your settings in-game to too high of a sensitivity, aim assist is disabled, and that puts you at a potential disadvantage when everyone else has aim assist and you do not. So hopefully this answers the questions I've been getting in the comments for some of my latest videos about how exactly I'm using a mouse and keyboard on my PlayStation 4 in Apex Legends. I will actually paste my configuration into the description below. I'll also have the settings I have set up for my Razer Atheros mouse as well, so you can try and maybe copy those settings as well and see how that feels for you. I'll also put a link to Xim Apex in the description as well, so if you wanted to purchase it, and try this out for yourself. It's all there for you. So, like I said, hopefully that answers some questions. Let me know what you think about this. Do you think it gives people an unfair advantage? I think, maybe for some people like me, maybe it just lets us actually feel like we are competitive instead of feeling like we're absolute trash. So, I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you think about all this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.